People should learn just not to invade Russia. Bad idea. Very, very bad idea.
Russia?
More wars are lost.
Our spirit tells you.
There. End the argument, freak them all out.
Oh, hello, Russia. Hi, Russia. I don't want to be one with you. I'm going to stay closer to Philip. You can have Charles. I'm sorry. I'm just Empire.
What about Romanov over there?
No, Romano's already won with Mother Russia.
We'll protect you, just like we did from the French. Other side. We'll stay closer to England. He has no, gate in Italy. He didn't even try to take part in Europe. Why would I want to kill him? Well,
Hey!
because the Italy might fight back.
That's offensive, and so does my brother.
Because the Italians might fight back, unlike the Australians and the Indonesians and the American Indians and... Hey! What else did you wipe out? You used to give them blankets with small parts so they would die.
Small parts, not small parts.
That would be bad. I mean, if you got a bloody blanket with stuff in it, yeah.
But it's funny.
And let's see what Spain has done to the natives of Central and South America.
Oh, this is going to be bad.
Let's see, there was the conquistadors that decided that they had to find the city of gold.
The Incans and the Mayans were crazy. And the Aztecs too.
They gave you chocolate.
They treated your people like gods when you came. And what did you do to repay them?
They took them out.
Quite effectively, actually. I have to give you credit for that one.
Yeah, you didn't do such a hot job with these Yanks, did you? You decided you were going to stop the Appalachians, so there's this whole chunk of land afterwards, which we claimed part of, by the way, and America took from us later.
I treated them well.
Yeah, and then we were looking for the Fountain of Youth in Florida, and he took that too. Did he take stuff from you afterwards? No, that was the French. They sold it, and Napoleon did.
He actually took part of what was supposed to be Canada.
Seriously, who is that?
Excuse my butler, he's slightly insane today.
Where
He's
was
just an
Canada?
idiot.
Isn't that the 54th state of America?
There's only 50 states of America.
Oh, what's Puerto Rico?
Territory.
Oh, I'm confused.
If you have a territory, technically it's a colony, but he's calling them territories.
I don't think they have to pay as much taxes either.
No.
That's sad.
Well, they said they didn't want to be a state.
They don't have to pay as much taxes. So, off of America?
Yeah.
We'll make that like neutral ground anymore?
Yeah.
We can go back to working on the French. Back to the French. Back to the French Revolution. So we're going to kill half of our population. The other half is going to starve. And then we're going to have the killings. We just killed more people. That's all they really did was kill. And then Napoleon marched through Austria. He marched through what was left of the Holy Roman Empire. He marched through Poland. And then he marched to Russia and decided he was going to take Moscow within the year. Well, that year included the Russian winter. And we all know what Russia's like in the winter, right? It's like Canada.
And so the Russians just retreated and burned everything in their path.
Yeah, so they actually abandoned Moscow, completely abandoned Moscow, just left everything. And while the Napoleon troops would come in and they had these nice furs and they would get these wonderful gold plates and historical value stuff from Russia, it didn't work very well because they couldn't take it back. Every time they left the city of Moscow, they got attacked by just civilian people. And if they stayed in Moscow, well, there was no food. They had taken all the food with them, so his people were starving to death. He eventually did hike them back through Moscow, losing over half of his troops to just ambushes.
So then he decided that he was going to try and take on the English.
Yeah, because that was going to work. We tried. We failed. If we failed, he would fail. He's French. Of course. So the English went through and what was it he did? It was so cute, I can't remember it.
We crushed his army.
Oh, that. Yeah, Waterloo. I remember now. I didn't forget. Never mind.
Unfortunately, I have to give Prussia some credit for that.
Prussia was rather scary, wasn't he?
Prussia was awesome.
Woo! Well, he'd like you guys for calling him that.
Like he needs a bigger ego.
Pretty big ego. Pretty big ego. Is he here?
Yeah, he's outside.
Yeah, there's a lot of people here who are Prussians.
Romano's part Russian.
Yeah.
She's Prussian-ish.
Fresh-ish.
Okay.
Yes, we changed it to Prussian.
We're going to conveniently check our cell phones, which didn't exist in Pirate Studios. 10:05. Okay. So we got you guys for 25 minutes. Is there any history questions you have? Yes.
Okay, I'm sorry, but why do Romano and England and Italy do anything for tomatoes or pasta?
Hey, that's offensive.
It's true.
No, it's not. Spain?
We brought
Actually,
over
it is.
tomatoes from Mexico, right? And they were new. They were something new and unique, and no one had seen them before. And compared to the foods that you have that grew naturally in Europe, they were rather unique in flavor because our stuff is kind of bland. You should see it's cooking. It's really, really bland.
Scones are delicious.
Thank you.
No, they're not.
Thank you.
She's English.
I got a funny story about
So
something
are
Romano
you.
did.
What do Romano do?
In Rome, there's these steps called the Spanish Steps. But thing is, the French paid for them.
If you actually talk the French into it enough, they'll pay for anything. Whether they have the money or not. Isn't that what they did in America?
Yeah.
Like you could say England's defeat led up to the defeat of France because they were broke and didn't have any money, and then they went more broke and didn't have any food, and then it was all because Louis, the king who they beheaded, sent money to America.
And then his death freed up the money to be sent to me. They still owe me debts.
What, for the tea and the harbor?
That and others.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. You're never getting paid back.
Probably not.
Poor broke England. Poor broke England. Aren't you bailing Ireland out right now?
Despite what my brother would like to think.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
At least we're not on the euro. Who's failing?
Oh, that's neat. Let's go back to France. France is easy to talk about. And their shortcomings. So guy killed in bathtub by crazy chick. We have the
Angry French woman.
angry French woman. We have we have the crazy guy who makes a new religion and changes all the calendar dates and the days of the calendar, and that was really confusing. Because every time you send something to France, you were like, hey, I need this on August 31st, and they're like, what's August? And you're like, the month? And they were like, what's the 31st? And you were like, the
The day?
last day of August, and they were like, what's August? And you were, what do you use? And they like rambled something off in French, and then we were like, huh?
So the whole story of this is it just wasn't worth it to trade with French anymore.
No, no. That play didn't have any money. Anyway, so Napoleon, right? He came through and he had his questionable queen. Well, he divorced her. He still loved her dearly, sent her letters. It's actually kind of sweet when you think about it. A lot like my Philip and Mary. Only she was more of a looker than Mary. And then they went through and he married a Habsburg. Again,
What?
like who Marie Antoinette was, who they didn't like, and they had offed her head.
For
The
Catholics.
whole circle thing, he married another one, and they liked her. The French are weird.
French are
Well,
perverts.
we all know that.
So they liked her, and he was very faithful and very loyal to this woman too. And like he would call her out to the battlefield with him and send her, you should come, I'm going to be in this city, and we're going to have a great battle, you should come watch me. Because that's not weird. But then again, on English ships, you could take your wife with you.
Well, we already proved that English women are crazy.
Well, wait, they proved English, I thought they were Welsh women. Are English and Welsh the same?
Now they are.
Technically, no.
Do I leave this here?
You can actually take that with you. Yeah. Thank you for being great for us.
No problem.
I'm on.
Oh, that's my favorite thought. We're talking about the English. So Napoleon would he would send his little armies and they would go, and then there'd be this person following behind him, this giant army. It was really impossible for Napoleon to hide. This army of women behind him, and merchants and sailors, and they would actually just bring stuff around. There are a lot of questionable women in this group that would do questionable things at night to the troops. And like the thing about the English was they could bring their women with them on board, and they would actually feed them. The only problem was you had to share a sleeping quarters, so like you had to share your hammock, because in a ship your problem is space. You have limited space. Where the army, if they brought like their wives with them, they had to feed their own wives because food is a problem with the army.
Not that the sailors minded sharing a hammock with their wives,
Hammocks are weird.
or any other woman for that
What if
matter.
you tumbled out?
It's still
talking about our women.
Especially the questionable ones.
Just how would you know all this thing?
I read a history book before I came.
A history book.
Yeah. They were questioning your version of Queen Elizabeth, too.
You hear that, Elizabeth? They're insulting you.
Not out loud or, with intent of anything like with America.
And she lost. Unfortunately, I have to admit that Elizabeth did have many suitors.
Yeah.
And she wasn't quite monogamous.
We tried to make them Spanish, but periodically she would slap us in the face and go, because we were so mad about the whole Henry thing and the whole France thing, and we told her, no Frenchmen, and she was like, hey, there's a French dude over here. It was rather, really bad. So we quit
There was
doing
even
that.
rumors that she was having an affair with Sir Francis Drake.
Word. Is that why he left? She broke his heart.
No, he left because there was more gold. On your side.
I needed that to pay back for those ships. The borrowed Armada was expensive.
So,
Moral of the story, don't borrow ships and fight England with them.
I have a question.
Yes, go for it.
Why is England the black sheep of Europe?
England is the black sheep of Europe because it's an island, and England didn't develop with the rest. Oh my gosh, why am I explaining this to England?
we didn't really conform to the rest of Europe because we were kind of cut off as this little island until Rome came. So, and even after that, we kind of just cut ourselves off from everyone. So, we're kind of the black sheep. We don't do everything that the rest of Europe does, like take the euro, which proved that we're just smarter.
Maybe you just think harder. Like your, wonderful egg maker. How long did that take you to think up?
None of your business.
It is my business. You try to market it to me. Marketing skills, England, you have none.
At least we don't go running with the bulls.
And Hermana's wearing bull ears.
CL,
Shut up. She's like, I think I'll pass.
The running with the bulls is actually a lot of fun. We actually have a day in a city that we get a bunch of tomatoes and we just drop truckloads of them and we smush them in each other's faces.
It
And
looks
we
like
throw them and
carnage.
it's a giant one. Romano likes that day. He likes to participate.
It looks like carnage. We have a better one in Sicily.
He likes to do it at lunch.
Yeah, he does like to do that at lunch a lot. Just like
And unfortunately, everyone's my manner.
Did you have any other questions?
Yes.
Romano and Spain hug.
Sebastian, I hate you.
I know.
Wait. Hold it. Stop.
That is so cute.
Okay. Any other history questions? Like I said, we did read a couple, so we can answer some. The goal was for you guys to learn something without knowing it.
I learned things. I got to go to school Monday and tell my
I learned
social
that
studies
French
teacher
women
I
are very
learned
good,
to make a
French women are very scary.
Yeah, they
Welsh
are.
women are very scary too. Actually, in most cases, if you get an army of women together, Russian women are scary. If you get an army of women together that are angry enough, they will take down anything.
Actually, in World War II, there was a lot of Russian women that were trained as snipers and pilots and all this, and it was them fighting the Germans.
Hi, Russia.
They also had a very good air force that were women, and they were the Banshees,
Yes.
and they would take down anything in their path. So women are scary.
Yep.
Any other useless tidbits of history you could throw at them?
I could probably throw out a lot of useless tidbits of history, but yeah.
What would you say if I said I was actually related to Mary Queen of the Scots?
That would be
Really?
I am.
Oh my gosh. Mary was killed by Elizabeth, later beheaded.
Yeah,
And
we
a lot
also
of
had a person who got his head stuck on a pike.
Yeah, the Scottish and the English just
did get along.
at all.
James did actually, he was the king of the Scots while Mary was in prison, and then he did take the English throne and unite Scotland and England when he got it. It was part of the Glorious Revolution.
Don't quote me on that, but I think so.
Yeah. And so, regardless of what may have happened to Mary, she did get her wish and her son did take the throne of England.
That's really cool.
And James was actually one of the ones, like Elizabeth, who the English just loved, because he did a lot for them.
If the English don't like you, your name doesn't get reused. So like Stephen, they don't like him. His name wasn't reused. John.
John, we don't talk about John.
John's name isn't used anymore. They didn't like him.
Even when we talk about the Magna Carta, John, we don't talk about him.
and they like inbred a lot, and they were crazy. And then, yeah, and then we went fascist. We're not fascist anymore.
Anymore?
No.
When did that
Democracy spread.
change?
After World War II and the whole like communism threat and all that jazz.
Hey, same here.
We had some Mussolini. He was saved a few times by Hitler.
Yeah, it was kind of effective though.
Yeah, all those ships in that harbor that got destroyed because he wouldn't take them out. Mussolini actually, it was a pretty amazing rescue Hitler did. He took paragliders into this, it was like the tallest tower hill thing that they were doing with this guy, and they shoved them up there, and Hitler took paragliders, and he sent them in, and they just glided to this tower, saved Mussolini, and then like glided out of Allied occupied territory, and then Mussolini proceeded to get captured again. But it was an amazing rescue at the time.
And then Hitler set him up as a puppet government up in the north, which the Americans quickly took over.
He lost to a group of guys who had spears as their main weapons and one airplane that they used to escape their president with.
Yeah.
He had guns.
And you're saying that my accomplishments weren't good?
I guess. Considering you won against them, but how do we get talking and defending Hitler?
I don't know. Why are we defending Hitler?
I don't know. Question for another day.
Yeah.
I like your crown. It makes me happy. You can keep it. It's your reward. You're my king, prince guy. You made King of Naples first, and then you went to be King of Spain. You actually chased the King of Portugal, who was Antonio, by the way. He's named after me. Chased him all the way to England, where Elizabeth was really, really cool, because she, well, this was bad for me, but it was really, really cool, because she went and they were talking about how we're chasing this rebel. And Elizabeth went, what? I don't see a rebel anywhere. All I see is the King of Portugal. And so it was a slap in the face to my empire, because England hadn't really allied themselves with Portugal. But we couldn't get to their king to take over Portugal because he was being protected by England. And we didn't want to go to war with them,
The English and the Portuguese are still really close friends.
even though you betrayed them.
Portuguese are really forgiving. Sometimes.
Yeah, yeah. Much
Occasionally.
Spanish.
So, any other questions?
Did you see Ireland yesterday?
I did not see Ireland yesterday. I just seen the Scotland today, though. And I've seen a couple Prussias, a couple Russias. We have Taiwan in the back. It was a very beautiful costume, by the way. Yes.
Japan says hi.
I thought I saw Japan outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I saw America heading to the dealer's room.
Yeah.
I'm the hero!
I miss Canada. Where's Canada?
But someone please explain to me what Canada is.
My favorite
Is that
nation
North
of
America.
standing like right in front of the camera and nobody would notice.
It's that team that gets really mad when you beat them at hockey. They flip over vehicles
Yes.
and riot in the streets.
That's them.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
them.
The ones who like,
We
They
talked
have
about
the
that.
they have the maple leaf on their flag.
Yes, yes.
I know who that is.
Yeah, but the English are really good at, in most English-speaking countries, is rioting. It's
Yeah.
setting stuff on fire.
Yeah, they go for it.
I know a Canada joke.
Is it gonna be clean?
Yeah.
Okay.
listen. Knock knock.
Who's there?
Fair.
Canada.
Canada. Who?
Exactly.
English riots.
Yes, English riots.
So you guys have heard of the gunpowder plot? Remember the 5th of November, the something in gunpowder plot? I don't know why the 5th of November. Anyway, so they tried to blow up Parliament with gunpowder underneath the building, and they captured this guy, and they killed the guy who did it, and they still celebrate this today.
We have bonfire night, like
Really?
you guys have 4th of July.
Where they make a scarecrow of the guy, and they set it on fire.
Well, we don't say it like that.
You could just make a bomb. I mean, America doesn't make imitation British boats and set them on fire for his revolution.
It kind of does sometimes.
Those are accidents from the fireworks.
America has too many cheeseburgers.
And the fireworks are actually supposed to, what's the word?
Scarecrow time. Set on fire every year.
He tried to blow up our parliament.
Tried. Failed.
Yeah, like America doesn't have Benjamin Arnold.
He was an interesting character.
We took him.
Yeah. No. But he liked the Americans better. His wife was the one who needed the money, and that's why he betrayed them. So you buy people off. Is that what you do? Is that why you're always broke?
Spain, come over. Wait. I need these. Pause there. Spain, could you come over here too?
We need photographs.
Where'd you go? Come on.
We're going to her father.
Stand right
They're kind
here.
of plotting against us.
And Romano, you should come over here too.
Wait, what do I say?